Good evening and welcome back. It's Friday, 26th of June. Just finished the day two session of the professional travel writing workshop that I've been going through since yesterday. Two more days to go. The summary for the next 2 days I'll probably post on Monday. But I'll quickly tell you how it was today and probably what was the key takeaway and things like that. First of all, it started off with relook into what happened yesterday, especially that assignment part wherein we were asked to pick up one particular place and write as many type of titles, basically stories, as possible around it. So basically, like you, in my case, I selected Western Ghats, or most specifically the Sissi Elapur region, and I try to build all stories around it, like things like the people, the places that you can visit, the waterfalls, the cuisine, the tribals. So I just started listing down things like that. I think I probably came up with about 9 topics, which I printed in the morning. But it was really fascinating to see how people approached this whole assignment. It seems like some of the people had written like 15 or 20 topics in a single, concentrated around like a single place. There were people who had done it for a specific area like Indranagar in Bangalore. Some people had done it like just the old Delhi itself, everything about the streets, the type of shops, the type of food, everything that I experienced, things like that. People had written about Varanasi, different things that you can do in Varanasi. Some one person had actually written about Orissa, things about Orissa, like everything about festivals, the food, the culture, and things like that. It was good. I mean, this was a good thing that yesterday that we learned like how to approach writing content for a given place. That was like a good exercise. Like the more I thought about it today, the more I realized that I can come up with more topics and more. I mean, I feel that I still am in a dilemma whether they should be decided before or this should be done after a visit. Ideally before is what I feel. I've asked a question also, but this will help us plan out the whole trip better, because if you know a list of things that you have to do, even if you could target like just a little bit more than 50% of that, that itself would be a good productive trip. And coming up with the content for that, like be it photo, be it the videos, or be it the writing, everything. So I just felt that it was a good exercise, and it was more so good for us to actually go through what others have done. Basically, we just started off like with the mentor actually going through it verbally, but we have been told that this will be shared to us probably later in the night today, and a few Q&A things that happened, and then the actual session today started. So today's session was totally about travel blogging. Okay, yesterday was about writing, travel writing, how to approach travel writing. Today it was about travel blogging. Now, even for me, it was a little bit of a misnomer that travel blogger and travel writer are the same, their mindset are same and stuff like that. But no, that is not the case. So that is definitely not the case. There are so many things about travel blogging that was told, like the different genres of blogging. First of all, there are tons of genres. Like it could be about fashion, it could be about travel, it could be about automobiles, it could be about movies, political, so many stuff. But the very moment you narrow down to travel, you might feel that what do we write about travel? Just in travel, there are so many specific types of travel blogging that you can do, listicle types of blogging, the review kind of blogging, backpacking type of blogging, and so many stuff. Like the list was huge, and a person can choose one or many of those, or probably concentrate on certain things based on his interest or the type of thing that pushes him towards writing more about a specific thing. Like he's a backpacking person, and he's like a nomadic guy, a digital nomad who just keeps traveling and just keeps writing, and he's more of like a backpacker, and he wants to do listicles of where he can stay at an affordable cost, like the accommodation and things like that. So many ideas. I'm just really impressed with like the mindset in which we should approach all these things itself is different. So this is about genres and how do you come from genres to different types. Then it was about the whole travel blog itself, which is basically your website. So when I say website, there was a little bit of discussion about the history of travel blogging and all the stuff. But the moment you come to the current day scenario, the 2020 that you're talking about now, typically when you say website, it's basically an identity. The whole website is an identity or a window to the outside world, to the person who is writing it or whatever the content that is there. And a lot of emphasis was placed on how do you actually plan and design all those things, what you should take care of, what you should not take care of, doing mistakes and stuff like that. Again, very insightful. I myself have one travel blog that I run, which if from people who know me, it's like I post very scarcely, and every time I come back and post, I just felt that it's been ages since I've last written. But this exercise, which this workshop that I'm going through, is actually a good kickoff point, at least for me to make it like a practice to at least write something more frequently. I don't want to commit I'll write one every week or one every 2 weeks or what I'll do. But it's definitely an eye opener of what you can do with your blog. And while talking about the blog or the website itself, one another thing that was emphasized is personal branding. Okay, how you should brand the whole website again with the type of person you are, not faking what you are not, and things around your color schemas, your the way website looks, and your identity, your personal branding spread across social media. All those things were discussed. The key thing for today was content strategy. So how do you plan the content? There are so many tips and tricks that was given, tips regarding content strategy that we should plan for, say, a given month, at least a given month, definitely not a week or something like that, or on a long term based on the season and things like that. So a very typical example that was given is July is like monsoon here in India, so things related to monsoon that you can do. Do you want to do birding? Do you want to do some landscape related tours? I'm talking more photography specific, but I'm just telling you, you want to go and see places during monsoon, or do you want to do a coastal ride? You want to go and see animals here in south, or similarly, when it says monsoon here in the Europe, it's summer. So, do you want to write about the summer in Europe at the same time? Because there will be a lot of digging around on the web about things to do in summer during the July period, and so many things around, like July being having the Canada Day, July having the Independence Day in US, and so many things. Like it's like the moment you think about content strategy, you need to sit and patiently write. Like it could be a 5-10 minute activity for somebody who's very well seasoned, or somebody who's newbie might take a few hours to probably even a day. But it's always good to do that well before on hand, so that you know what you'll be writing about, and you know what is the type of content you have to create, and where to channelize all the things, where do you put the writing, how do you channelize the photos and all the stuff. Good learning. And the best part about all these things is, I was talking about the key takeaway. The key takeaway in the content strategy is that it was told your blog should ideally serve as an answer to what is a question in people's mind. And I could totally relate this to what one called Pat Flynn from the Smart Passive Income he says. So he says that when he started writing blog, he basically started writing blog in such a way that he's answering people's queries. And the more I think about it, the more they explain, and the more now I go back and relate to all the blogs that I read, or anything. I just realized that anything that you read should be something like an answer to somebody's question. So it could be like how to go to a particular place, what to do there, what to eat, what are the different places to eat, how was the experience. All those things are the type of questions that come in people's mind, and it'll be good if you write it in such a way that it serves as an answer, because it's easily searchable, because end of the day you put in all your keyword strategy and SEO and all the stuff, it'll serve as an answer. And that's what engages people. End of the day, it's all about audience, it's all about that engagement. That was my key takeaway. Like your blog should basically be an answer for somebody's question that is there in the mind about a particular place or a destination, things like that. The last part before they signed off was this whole differentiation between travel writing and travel blogging. And as I told in the beginning, I thought that they both are same or less. Probably I would say like a thin line of difference between both of them. But the more you see it seriously, there is a very distinguishing thing between both of them. Um, Not all travel bloggers are travel writers, but all travel writers are travel bloggers. So that's a key part here. Um, why I say that is, like, again, it's all about the editorial content, less emphasis on social media, more emphasis on the style of writing, and those type of things when it comes to travel writing. But the moment it comes to travel blogging, it's about you, how you present it, how you go and distribute it to the world, because you are not putting it in some like top list magazine or a newspaper. End of the day, it's there in a blog on a social media, sorry, on the world wide web, and it's your responsibility to go and put it out to the people. And how do you distribute it, how do you network and share your things to people? So a lot of things, I don't know if I can tell everything because we just now finished the session and I'm still yet to digest. So I thought like I'll quickly make this video so that I can sort of be free later in the evening and spend some good time with my family. So that's what it was. Overall, a good day. The lesson learned today, as I told you, was something about the blogs being an answer for the question in people's mind. And overall, a good second day. But I wish it could have been a little bit more detailed, because more than I think 45 minutes was spent. Of the 2 hours of the session today in reading about yesterday's assignment and also about the Q&A. Probably I'll suggest something about keeping the Q&A later in on Sunday or something like that, so that we get more time to talk about the content rather than the stuff. There are good questions, but I just felt that 45 minutes was like way too much of a time to have been spent across this, because you could have spent 15 minutes and 30 minutes you could have used for the content. So that's a review for the day 2 of the professional travel writing workshop that I am attending. It's an online class that is going on. I'll be back talking to you on Monday, which is 29th of June. By the time I'd have finished this workshop, so I'll give a probably an overall summary rather than tell you what happened on day 3 and day 4, and probably anything interesting that happened over the weekend. Maybe if I go out, if at all, if I really go out, some snippets from that. I'll come back to you on that on Monday evening. So take care, have a nice weekend. See you on Monday. Bye bye.